start with introducing yourself.
My name is Mrs. Young, and I teach Vietnamese at Loera High School.
Tell me about one of the most important people in your life.
I have many. But I'm just going to say probably family. My parents, my husband are the most important people in my life. For me to be where I am and what I have today, it's through their support and dedications and love for me. So definitely I appreciate them for being there for me.
Who in your family do you think supported you the most?
Who in my family support me the most? As of this point, I would say my husband.
Your husband?
Because I moved in with him, so I no longer live with my own family. So I live with my in-laws. So and of course with the in-laws, sometimes there are things that there are still barriers because they're your new family. So I have to say my husband would be the person who has been very supportive of me when I was going through school, when I was going through problems. He was always there for me, and so that's why we decided that we are meant for each other.
What type of school did you do?
I came to the U.S. when I was 15. So I started high school here in America, and then I went and I continue at Orange Coast College for 2 years, and then I transferred to Cal State Fullerton for another 2 years. So that's also where I earned my BA degree. And then I went to work, and then I went back to get my teaching credentials and my master's degree, also at Cal State Fullerton.
Wow, really impressive. Did it take you a long time?
Definitely. Yes. School started. I started college right after. But then I wasn't sure if what I wanted to do, it's my long-term career. So that's why I went to work. So I worked at an elementary school for 4 years. And that really confirmed that I wanted to be a teacher. So that's when I decided to come back to school and earn my teaching credential.
Was there any elementary students that stuck out to you? This is what I want to be?
I was not a teacher. I was working in the office. And that's why... that's what sparked me to become a teacher. So I was working in an office. I was a school community liaison. So I am the bridge in between the family and the school. And so working there, I saw the needs of Vietnamese students learning Vietnamese because there was no communication at home. Kids from 6 to 10, they could not communicate their needs to the parents. Parents were too busy working. A lot of the Vietnamese parents are working at nail shops, so they work late hours, or they have 2 or 3 jobs, so they don't come home until late at night, so they don't get a chance to go learn English. Kids home by themselves or with the grandparents, so they just kind of do whatever they want, so they never get to learn Vietnamese either. So then there was the gap between kids and their parents as they grow older and older. So I saw that needs, and I feel that I need to jump in and do something to help our community. So that's why I decided to become a Vietnamese teacher to help bridge that gap and bring families together.
When you said you help the kids that their parents are busy, that reminded me of myself because my mom was always working. I was really young, and my sister wasn't old enough to or responsible enough to take care of me. She was around my age, but she didn't trust her, I guess. What's funny is that when she sent me to be babysitter, it's a bunch of people, not just Vietnamese people.
Right.
It was Vietnamese, of course, and then Spanish, and then Ando one time.
Indians.
But mainly my favorite one that stuck out to me was my babysitter Teresa. She was Spanish.
Okay. Hispanic?
Hispanic, yeah. And I learned to speak Spanish fluently too.
Nice.
So I spoke
because you were spending a lot of time with her. Very good.
I spoke 3 languages.
Very nice.
And
at least you get to speak Vietnamese at home and kind of understand it. That's good.
So yeah. I'm bilingual in 3 languages.
Now
I'm
you're
so happy
trilingual.
Trilingual.
Yes.
And then after 3rd grade was when my mom stopped babysitting me because I was old enough, and my sister was out of high school, so she was in college, so she was an adult technically, so she could take care of me.
That's good.
And so since I didn't speak at home because no one else in my family could speak it fluently, I guess, I just lost some vocabulary. But I think going to school with a lot of Hispanic friends around me, like I think I can gradually like listen to what they're saying and understand. Like I could maybe hold a conversation, but most of the time, not really.
Great. And practice makes perfect, right? Yeah.
And like in Vietnamese too, like sometimes when you speak English all the time, you wanna, like you just forget stuff.
Right. And if so, if you're surrounded by Vietnamese people, hopefully you can gradually pick it up. And watching Vietnamese Vietnamese music can kind of help you with the writings and the speaking as well. Great.
And like I was really excited to found out like our school also offers Vietnamese like this year, like last year actually.
Good.
Because when I was doing my elective selection when they came to my school, Vietnamese wasn't an option. It was only like Japanese and Korean, but they were e-learning, which is online learning.
Right.
And that was like a new thing because that was before quarantine hit, and everyone was like, online sounds really difficult, which it was. We found out later.
Great. And so you're going to continue taking Vietnamese for the next 4 years, right? All right.
I want to get that little biliteracy stamp on my diploma.
Yes. And I'm working to earn you guys a court as well to walk on graduation, so that'll be great. And you're going to make your mom so proud for being able to speak it, write it, read it, and comprehend it.
My mom's like, cảm ơn cô đi, tập con mới học 1 năm thôi mà biết nói tiếng Việt, biết viết and đọc nữa. Like,
so your mom see a good improvement.
Like really like I just know I can read it and write it. She's like, giỏi quá.
Nice.
So like,
nice. Okay.
Like in order for a student to progress like that, the teacher must be really good and talented.
Okay.
So you really are talented.
Oh, good. Thank you. I mean, you guys worked hard too.
Like no, Daniela and like Norfield and Natalie, like they don't have any Vietnamese background,
Right.
But they could speak it pretty fluently and read it too.
I was very impressed with them.
Really
as well.
impressed.
Yes.
Like my mom was really impressed.
Oh, your mom met them.
Not yet, but on the flip grid.
Oh, you showed their flip grid. Oh, okay.
It's like remember how I said like, mấy đứa mẹ này nói giỏi hơn mấy đứa Việt luôn á. Mấy đứa Nam nó nói kỳ lắm. It's like that.
Yeah. It's all practice, and if you love something, you will do your best in learning it, and eventually it'll get to you. You had the advantage that you have your mom at home, you have your sister at home, speak it to you, but you can still forget it if you don't practice, right? So I appreciate you for continue trying and practicing it.
I really like want to not lose it, you know? Like if I lose it, it's just like I lose myself, like a part of myself.
I'm glad. So you identify yourself as a Vietnamese American.
A Vietnamese American. Like I grew up with Vietnamese people around me. I speak at home. I'm like a part of the culture. And like just seeing it slip away from me, it's like a piece of my heart gone.
Definitely. Great. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
So you can help me recruit more students, right?
Yes, definitely.
So if you know more students from Boss or here, spread the words.
Okay. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
So like I mentioned, I grew up in Vietnam and I came here when I was 15. My childhood, we lived 5 minutes away from the beach. So that's what we mostly spend our time every afternoon. My dad would take me to the beach. We would play in the sand because we were quite poor. So there wasn't a lot of toys for us to play at home. So we just kind of go to the beach and that's our toys. Right? We play with sand. We play with, I don't know, anything, you name it, anything you can play. We just bring a ball and then we have a game out there. We also have, sometimes there would be some festivals and things that people put together at the beach. So we usually spend a lot of our time at the beach every day, every afternoon. And I went to school, school in Vietnam is half day. So that's why we would go to school in the morning. In the afternoon, we'll be either doing homework or going to the beach. So that was, I miss my childhood. We had a good time.
Đảo.
Yes.
Like when my mom calls like Vietnam or Yvonne, my aunt would like call her. Like my cousin Nadia, she's like, "Oh, sao nó đi không trong trường nhá?" It's like, "Oh, nó gì?" She has morning classes, right? Or like day classes. So they have a whole separate day just free.
Yes.
Not to mention they're still in like a lower grades in elementary, so they have a lot of free time.
Definitely, yes. But kids in Vietnam, they don't just go to school. They help out with their family. Like when I was young and my mom owned a shop at a small market, I went out there and helped my mom selling their stuff, preparing things, and help her clean up. So usually we would spend the morning going to school, and then in the afternoon you would help around with your family. You don't just sit at home watch TVs or play games. We were pretty productive, I have to say. Yeah.
Like, what's it called? I see like kids around me, like they all here also help their parents, but not a lot.
Right. The expectation. Right, definitely. Parents here really treasure the kids and allowing them to be kids. Vietnam too, but parents oftentimes teach their kids to be independent people from our early age. So they really wanted to teach their kids about that. Thank you. Yeah. We had no toys. With no toys, so we wanted to keep ourselves busy with different activities like that. We help out the poor. We go do different community service things. So yeah.
Community service we did at Pupatah, Asian Garden Mall.
Yeah. How'd you like that?
It was
It was a long day though.
A long day. I was planning to just stay till 6, but I'm like, I'll just stay the whole day because extra hours mean more time. And if I stay longer, I'll get brownie points from my teacher. Cause there's there was a lot of kids, but a few because in the morning. Because in the morning was a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, you were there since the early morning.
I was there at I think not 7, but like around 2.
Wow. Did your mom come and visit you?
Yeah, she did. She was she was across the street in the across the street, the supermarket.
Chợ
Adam. Like she was waiting in the parking lot. She saw me like, con mẹ thấy con bắt giúp mấy người ta khiêng đồ and stuff. I was like, mẹ ơi, I was embarrassed. Like, mẹ ơi, đừng có nhìn đi.
Aren't you supposed to be proud, right? That you're helping out others.
Like I don't want to let her see me, have her watch me do work.
That's fine. You're helping out. You're not doing anything bad.
Yeah.
But Asian parents, we tend to brag, right? So
I don't want to like give her something to brag about. Like
I'm sure she did.
Say, con của tôi của em á, nó có việc làm rồi, nó giúp mấy người lớn và nó khiêng hơn nữa. Say that.
Well, you're proud of yourself that you stay and help. I had a few students who just were just there and hanging out. They didn't do much. So I'm
not to name no names, but
right. I'm glad you guys were like out there and took initiative and asked if you can help around. That's good.
Yeah, like I see that. I'm like, we're just here to help, not just play. Like we have times to play around, like when they don't need our help. But we're here. But the main purpose of it just is to help around.
Right. Great.
I felt. What's that one kid with the twin? Like he was busy pushing that camera around all day in the sun.
And nobody was helping them. Yeah.
Because he had a twin, but he was like, he didn't want to switch for some reason. We talked to him about it, but he's like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
I feel like
they came from a different school.
Yeah. Was it Oxford?
Magnolia.
Because I saw like a bunch of paperwork.
So you guys offered to help, but they didn't want to?
No, they didn't. I think they were hogging it because they liked it.
Oh, maybe because they didn't know what else to do. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, it's like one place they have us like walking around the whole store, the whole property.
Yeah,
it's like to help King Lord to my back and all.
Okay, and you pass around flyers and stuff like that. Okay.
There's one time he was like, what's Mr. Ricky? He told us to wait for these executive people to show up and like tell them to park in their special assigned parking lot. And like we found our classmates and we're like, you want to do this job? We'll trade, because we don't want to stand out in the sun. And so me and Kevin did that.
Oh, that's funny. Kevin also stayed pretty late.
He stayed. He gave me a ride home.
Oh, good.
Which is really nice.
Also, your mom couldn't wait. She went home.
No, she was across the street. I came home and my sister was like, "Oh, má đâu vậy?" I was like, "Oh, tưởng má về rồi." She was waiting across the street.
She was still across the street, and you didn't call her?
Yeah.
Wow.
She didn't buy me a phone, so I'm like, "Hey, it sucks to be you."
I'm sorry.
But
okay.
That was her choice. Okay. She stayed because she loved me.
I'm surprised she didn't get panic.
Panic? Oh, she
like
she
not
probably,
seeing you there.
Okay. I think it's because I go out a lot and I stay at school really late, so she doesn't really mind it. And how she works late at night, she barely gets to see me, so she doesn't feel. She feels as though I'm responsible enough to take care of myself. So
you see her in the morning before you go to school?
Yeah, she drives me to school and like here and there. Sometimes like she takes break months or sometimes years, like to spend time with me. And so yeah.
So on a daily, if you have something at school, how do you share with her? Do you
I
call
would just-
her? Do you wait for her at night?
Well, she usually is at home most of the time. So recently, like she recently just started working again because everything closed down.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like just talk to her like randomly,
Okay.
like how I would talk to my sister or anything,
good.
like my
Okay.
friends and
So you feel
teachers.
close to her? That's good. I want to build with my Vietnamese student and their parents, because sometimes there's that gap, and then there's also that language barrier that you can't communicate.
Like
Yeah.
communication is key,
Definitely.
like a lot.
Definitely. Yeah.
It could
Especially in this age where there's a lot going on with you in school, you're going through a lot of emotional stages. I want you guys to have someone that you trust and that you could talk to.
I feel as though verbal communication is lacking in a sense because people are always on their phone or devices, and so they lack the eye contact,
Definitely.
like seeing each other in person, seeing
Yes.
like real emotions instead of like just emojis.
Right? Right. People are sort of took advantage of that too much. A little too much.
Do you think it would like make a superficial future or like society like later on in life?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're now so into technology. Like we're gonna have drones classes here. We have AI, right? Something intelligence,
It's one of the pathway classes.
right? AI. So computer are gonna be replacing humans very soon, and so that's a scary world.
One of these days, I'm gonna walk in a classroom. It's not gonna be a teacher. It's just gonna be like a computer, like
Teaching you. Imagine a robot.
Mhm.
Hey, look. I'm your teacher for the day.
it's just I don't know. We lose touch with humanity, like talking to other humans.
Yeah. And I'm one of those teachers. If you notice, I don't sit behind my computer a lot when I teach. I like to walk around. I like to talk to you and help you out rather than just because I do see teachers who just kind of sit down and kind of record themselves or show you videos, and I just feel like that is something you do while you're in a pandemic.
You don't have the engagement part of the teaching.
We don't have to put that on, right? Just side conversation. Anyways.
How was life in Vietnam and how does it differ here in the U.S.?
Life in Vietnam was pretty different from here, from my experience. I had a lot more freedom. Since I live in a small town, so I sort of went to school by myself on a little bike, starting when I was in second grade. So I would bike myself to school, then I bike home, and then in the afternoon I would help my sister cook for lunch, and then we help out my mom, and then my dad would take us to the beach and hang out there. So I don't know, I feel like we're more free. We got a lot more freedom. It's easier for us to go out and talk to our neighbors, our friends, compared to here. I remember when I first came to the U.S., I live in a gated community with my uncle. So we live in a gated community. I just went to school. I walked home by myself, and then we just go inside the house. I had no friends. When you look out in the street, there's really no one out there because I feel like American people just kind of like to stay indoor. They like their privacy. Whereas in Vietnam, Vietnamese people like to be outdoor. We have a lot of shops outside. So we go snacking every afternoon, whereas here I can't really go anywhere. So definitely life here in the U.S. are definitely different from each other.
Like the food stalls, like you don't see vendors anywhere.
Right, here you don't see vendors on the street like in Vietnam. In Vietnam, whenever you're hungry, they're like 2 minutes away from home. You can literally walk out there.
You can literally just walk out the building. They're right
just
there.
walk out there. Very convenient.
Very convenient.
Very
It's
convenient.
like a mobile convenience store, kind of.
And there's less restrictions compared to here. Definitely more accessible to students, for everybody.
And it's like, I learned how people get by, like mopeds and stuff. Like mopeds, they don't use cars, they use like
motorcycles.
Motorpads, yeah.
Yeah, we use a motorcycle, so it's easier to manipulate on the street compared to in the U.S. And there was laws and rules, but transportation-wise, we didn't really follow the law. So, yeah.
I heard like, my mom was like, oh, in Vietnam, qua đường rất nguy hiểm.
Because people just you just kind of have to, they have to maneuver maneuver around you. You just go.
Like,
and,
you just walk. Like,
and a lot of time people don't use a crosswalk. That's why. People just walk, just cross whenever they want. They don't use the actual crosswalk, which makes it dangerous.
wait, in Vietnam, do they even have crosswalks? Cause
They do. They do
do?
have crosswalk. People just don't use it because it's too far. Like, if your house is here, your food shop that you're about to go is across the street, and the light's over there. You don't want to walk over there and come back. You're just gonna go straight.
Just go straight. More convenient.
For more conveniency, yes.
Do you think Vietnam has a law about jaywalking though?
Oh yeah, it has a law on jaywalking?
Yeah.
No,
No?
I don't think so, or not that I've known of, because we
They don't
never get a
enforce it.
ticket for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we usually just get ticket on going the wrong way, past the light, the red light, or on a motorcycle you can't have more than two people, 2 adults. So if you carry 3 adults, then you might get a ticket. But that's it. Yeah.
Because I've
There's not a lot
seen
of laws.
like videos about a whole family on one like little motorcycle.
Whole family, yes, if you have kids. So if you have family of 2 and then 2 kids, that's fine. But if you have 3 adults, then that's illegal. Yeah.
It's like,
Life here. Yeah, I feel like when I came here, I just go to school, I go home, and then I started working when I was 18. So I just go to school, go to work, go home. I had friends. We hung out with friends. I am a socialized person. I like to socialize. So I did hang out with a lot of my friends. But to a lot of people, I do see them like staying indoor a lot of time compared to life in Vietnam, where we're a lot more socializing and we're more outgoing.
it's like the social butterfly characteristic in you. Like, once it's there, it needs to be set free.
Yes. Well, I am a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius people like to socialize with others, and we like to be out there.
Like, being social is also a good thing, but do you have like any negatives about it?
I think definitely, yes, because once you're socialized too much, or when all the when you are out there too much, you're starting to hear negativities. You hear people talking back about others, and then you start hearing fights all the time. So that's one of the problem in Vietnam as well. You would hear neighbor judging you for what you wear, because they're just chit-chatting all the times, right? So they're just out there chit-chatting. So when you come out with, I don't know, if you wear something that's a little bit different than the ordinary, then you get talked about. Or if your family it's fighting and it's a little loud, and the neighbors start chit-chatting about, your family. So there's definitely negativities about that as well.
Like, they nói xấu người ta.
Oh yes,
They're like,
yes. They will talk behind your back. Well, I mean, because people have so much time that they just sit around and chit-chatting. And so what are the topics that are coming up, right? You would hear, more likely you would hear bad things and good things.
like, nghe có con của chị Linh không? Nó gan ngủ chạy, nó không có đi lên trường nữa. It's like that.
Yep, definitely, yeah. So there's always good and bad, both sides, right? If you're staying indoor a lot more, you're more safe. You don't get those things, but then you have less friends, and then you don't get to socialize with people.
So, was it hard adjusting life here?
Was it hard to adjusting life here? Yes, at the beginning, because I came here when I was a teenager, so I had a lot of friends in Vietnam, a lot of families in Vietnam, so it was a big difference coming here. But we adjusting quite fast. It took me about 3 years to sort of get used to the life here and kind of coming to like it. If I have to say whether I like the life here or in Vietnam, I would have to say I do appreciate the life here more, but life in Vietnam is much more fun. Yeah.
I would say that. I haven't been out the country before, so I don't know much about it. But from experiences from other people and videos, it seems different. Like,
definitely. Oh, it's really, really different. I really hope one day you can travel to Vietnam and learn and see it for yourself, right? Utilize what you've learned in class and go be out there. Yeah.
My mom wants to go home, like, nhà lại nước Việt Nam, thăm gia đình rồi.
Has she been? home? Has she
not
been
in
back to Vietnam?
a while. She's really homesick right now. So she wants to go.
You should go with her.
I know, but we haven't got our passports approved yet.
Are you working on it?
Yeah, and like with all the restrictions and stuff, we're
Okay.
like, oh, jadi.
Yeah. Hopefully next year.
Mm-hmm. I'll record it and I'll send it to you.
Yes, or
And
let me
or
know if you're
show.
going. I might be going too. We can meet there.
I was like, oh yeah, man, like go kong nè.
No, I don't mind at all. Yeah, if we are planning to go next year as well. I wanted to have my wedding in Vietnam, but COVID happens, and so it didn't happen. But I really wanted to have my wedding in Vietnam. So when we come back, because I haven't introduced my husband to my close friends in Vietnam yet, they all want to meet him in person. So we'll go sometime soon.
Well, speaking of your husband, share with me the story of how you and your spouse met.
How did we meet? Oh, it was just through friends. He was a farm tech, so he was helping out the store one day to deliver a med, and so he delivered to this friend's house. And she was very out there. She's outgoing. She just asked for his number and invited him out. So she invited me out, invited him out, and we met. And we clicked. And we dated 6 months or a year after that. We didn't talk at the beginning, but then after that we started to talk to each other and we started to click. And we dated for about 4 years before we got married. Mm-hmm. We met at Meat Fresh. So we've been back there every so often. It's a dessert, you know that place, right? Yeah?
So
Taiwanese dessert place.
So cliche.
Why is it a cliche?
I met my one true love at a cafe this morning. One of those.
I don't believe in that though. I don't know. I don't believe in love at first sight. I don't think it's the real thing. There's no such thing.
Such a lies that people tell to make it seem like something that's not.
I mean, you can like someone, but to say love, you can't live without that person with just that first look. I don't believe in it.
You would die for them on the spot that day. You didn't even know the person.
Right.
They didn't even know you.
Right. Yeah. So after a while, we talked, and what I felt were comfortable was that we both share very similar background, a family background, and we are on the same boat for a lot of situations, and so I feel like we could relate really well with each other. And also, he's very supportive. Whatever that I'm looking to do or my dream is about, he's always there and support me in that sense. So that's why.
Okay, it's almost 5 o'clock for your appointment for your booster shot, so let's wrap things up with a few more questions.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, you actually remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets? A broad spectrum of questions. Any regrets that come to mind?
Regrets. I guess my only regrets is not staying in dorm in college during my college life. Because I chose a safe net where I stayed home. I decided to go to a school nearby home, So the nice thing about it is that I was to be able to work and come home and dinner is ready. So my mom was helping me with dinner, and so I didn't have to pay for rent and all of that stuff. But if I could redo my college life, I would like to maybe spend a year in a dorm to kind of experience that, college life, and maybe make more friends, because I was just working throughout my college years. So I didn't have a lot of friends. I have a close group of friends, but I would love to learn more about clubs and all the chapters, all of those cool things about college. I don't know a lot of those. Yeah.
I feel as though in media and stuff, they glorify the college dorm life, in shows and movies and stuff. So I'm like, is that actually true and how it is?
I don't know. That's why I don't know. But I just feel like I would enjoy myself more if I stay on campus and explore more, and I would know more thing about college than me just go to school. School's out, I go home, or I go to work. And looking for parking was terrible. So if I stayed in dorm, I wouldn't have to fight for parking, and save some gas going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Final question. Did you experience any difficulties and life-changing experiences that might have changed your viewpoint on things?
We need to pause on that one. I have to think. Yeah, you want to just pause? I don't know. You want to ask the question again?
Okay, let's just use some of it. What's a life-changing experience that made you change your viewpoints on things?
I'm gonna have to say the transition between my transition or my whole family transition coming to America. We were young when we came, so definitely it was a life experience for us. And when I was in Vietnam, we were quite poor. We didn't make a lot of money, so I wasn't sure how my future life would be. But coming here, the government has supported us. Everybody has supported us. So it's I finally achieved my American dream. So, to have a good career. We have a good family. So that really helps me open up my future and see more positive about life and come to appreciate America for allowing us to achieve our American dream. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that works.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, you're welcome. I hope that works for your project and that you've learned a little bit about me and
learned a lot about you.
Good. With a stranger. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'd love to share my stories. I just wasn't sure how I would do it because I'm usually shy with interviews. Things doesn't pops up when I get asked, but slowly. I'm a slow to warm person, so it takes me a while to get to warm up. But once I'm warm up,
I would take it as a regular conversation. Just go with it.
I like that. Yeah, I like how you kind of went on with what I answered and you went on with it. That's good. Yeah, that makes me feel less like you have to read it and then it's kind of cut off your train of thought, right? That's good.
Okay.
Good.
Come on, ko.
Yes, you're welcome, Andy.
Any last comments before we stop?
Last comments. Do well in school. Study abroad. I forgot to share my little study abroad experience. I went to Spain. To learn. I didn't learn Vietnamese there. I went to Spain in my teaching credential program, and that's really opened up my eyes. It's how we learn language, right? Or when you're exposed to a language and different people's culture and how it's so different, but yet so very familiar, very similar to the Vietnamese culture as well. So yeah, study abroad, stay in dorms, have fun in schools, don't do crazy stuff, and enjoy your school life. Okay.
Message from
Mrs. Young.
in room 485.
Yes. And take Vietnamese.
Take Vietnamese.